Ruben Amorim doesn't believe Kobbie Mainoo is what he needs in midfield. We now know this, after all the evidence of this season and Amorim's choices. Now, United blocked a loan move for him in the summer, but he has since only existed in the shadows. This video is not about favouritism or player FC or any nonsense like that. This is just an honest opinion from a United fan around Kobbie and why I really do want him to leave Manchester United for now. Always a cheery conversation when talking about Manchester United right now, isn't it? We need to speak about Kobbie. We really need to speak about Kobbie because I'm telling you, I'm going to approach this video from three perspectives, all right? Ruben Amorim's, Kobbie Mainoo's, and also the club's. Because I'm telling you, Kobbie has to be able to leave in January. The club has to allow him to leave because if we don't, I'm telling you, I think it's going to go past the point of being repaired. Let me just explain my thought process. Do you remember this photo? Boy, oh boy. That feels like a long time ago. That was when Amorim first walked in and met Kobbie. You know what I would say about this? About Kobbie's lack of game time. You remember that the club blocked a loan move for him in the summer. All of this is the club's fault. We should have won the Europa League final. We should be playing Champions League football this season. There would have been far more game time for all of these players. But instead, Manchester United are without European football for the first time in 10 years. There's frustrations, deep frustrations among the squad. And none more so than with Kobbie. And it's led to this point after West Ham. Does it feel like a breaking? No, it doesn't feel like a breaking point, but it feels like a really important point. All right. Now, Amorim was asked ahead of the Wolves game, the embargoed second part of the press conference, about Kobbie in a bit more detail. And this is what he said. You can read it. He goes, I understand what you were saying. You love Kobbie. He starts for England, but that doesn't mean I need to put Kobbie in when I feel I shouldn't put Kobbie in. It's my decision. Following on from that, Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic has said that Kobbie Mainoo is going to be seeking a loan again in January amid deep frustrations. And I'm not sure if you saw Paul Scholes' reaction. It's fair to say he wasn't happy. I think he deleted this. But you can see down there at the bottom. He feels that Kobbie is getting ruined. Hates seeing homegrown players leave, but it's probably best for him now. Enough is enough. Now, as I said, I want to speak about this from three perspectives. Number one, Ruben's. I understand that Ruben's getting frustrated. He's getting asked the same questions. But Ruben, the reason you're being asked the same questions repeatedly is because what we're currently seeing, look, I don't think Kobbie really could have too many complaints if United were flying, the midfield was firing, and then players were nailing it. But it's just not the case. Our midfield for a long time has been underwhelming. Casemiro and Bruno, both not exactly fit for purpose for that role. It's compromised no matter where you look. But Kobbie was told that he was considered a starter quality, and there was going to be competition. It's been a monopoly on midfield, and he's not had the minutes, despite the fact that United's midfield consistently is a problem. And in a game like West Ham, where United are, well, when Ugarte came on, we weren't chasing a goal, but this United team has kept one clean sheet this season, and we conceded, and then we were chasing a goal, and then you want Kobbie on, but instead you've got Ugarte. That's why you keep being asked about it. And that's why you will continue to be asked about Kobbie. And then there's Kobbie's perspective. Mate, get a loan spell, lad. He's got to leave this football club in January. We've seen enough evidence now to know that Amorim just doesn't rate Kobbie for the midfielder that he wants. And he would even prefer to put in an Ugarte who he has sort of had a go at in front of the whole squad ahead of Kobbie. It doesn't really matter what the game state is. It doesn't really matter, I suppose, who's injured really currently. If you look at the competition being Bruno, he's never going to be injured. But Kobbie, lad, get a loan move. And you know what I'm really thankful of? In fact, all these conversations around Kobbie leaving, they are him looking for a loan move, which gets me on to, I might argue, the most important point in all of this. Jason Wilcox and the club. You are looking at a player in Kobbie who we can all pretty much guarantee if he played in the right environment and the right team, the right manager for 2 years, maybe not even 2 years really, just a season, he'd be a player that we'd be looking at immediately and go, we could probably spend 50, 100 million on that player. And he's right there. I think United should be almost thankful for the fact that Kobbie wants to just get a loan move. He needs to get that loan move because if you don't give Kobbie that loan move in January and you keep him at a club and he's a situation where he's frustrated under a manager who's clearly not going to play him and nothing's really going to change in the second half of the season, then I guarantee you Kobbie changes how he looks at Manchester United. Do I think that Kobbie's guaranteed to get into the World Cup squad if he moves to Napoli, for example, which Fabrizio Romano is suggesting he's interested in? No, not guaranteed. Not with Elliot Anderson's breakthrough. Declan Rice obviously got that spot there. Adam Wharton, someone's going to miss out. It may well have been Kobbie anyway. But if United just keep him at United, block another loan move in the same way that we blocked a loan move in the summer, and then we don't play him, he's going to look down on the club. And when it comes to, if you want to call it, protecting the value, the assets that we've got, you can't do that with Kobbie. Man United have got to let Kobbie go out on loan in January and figure something out, because the solution is not keeping him. If Ruben Amorim is going to be staying, which clearly that seems to be Ineos's choice and preference. All right, okay. Well, if it's that, then Kobbie cannot stay at this football club right now. Because if you do it, come the summer, he's off. I'm leaving Manchester United. I'm handing in a transfer request. There's no chance that I think he stays at the club. And he clearly wants to. The fact that he keeps seeking a loan. He sought a loan in the summer. He's seeking a loan now. He doesn't want to cut ties with Manchester United. But he absolutely doesn't want to sit in a situation where he's on the bench. He's told there's competition and competition isn't going to come. Do I think that if Kobbie comes in, our midfield woes are sorted? Not particularly, because this midfield setup with the two in midfield is extremely demanding. I don't particularly think that's the perfect position for Kobbie. I prefer him closer to the opposition's box rather than being, or attempting to be, an all-purpose midfielder like Elliot Anderson. But Amorim said that he was going to be competitive with the minutes, and because we're only playing one game a week and the pressure's on the Premier League, I think he's reversed on that. Kobbie's not going to get the opportunities. We've seen it enough now. And if Jason Wilcox is looking at the long-term future of this football club and looking at the long-term future of Kobbie Mainoo, we risk losing him and losing any loyalty from him. I think we've already risked it, half of it this season. But give him a loan spell. Will that leave United short in midfield? Yeah. We're already short in midfield. But keeping Kobbie around, just in case Bruno might pick up an injury, which is effectively the only reason he's still here, is not what we should do. He needs to be able to leave in January, figure out a solution, United. I don't know what that solution is, but that's not my job. That's your job. But I'll tell you what we can't do is keep him around for another 6 months with false promises and sat on the bench. Because if you do that, you've lost Kobbie. And come the end of the World Cup and come the end of the summer, Kobbie Mainoo will play for another football club. And that is something that United will definitely regret.